So let's see what we found on the side of the road. First of all, there was this piece over here, kind of a Gothic looking piece of woodwork. And we got this here. Looks like a seat. This is the back half of it. So this is a board, and it's got well, a swing because it has this hardware on it. So look at this. So it's looking like a bench, and look at this work here. It's like a clover of some kind over here, pretty Gothic looking too. And as a matter of fact, look at this square over here, almost looks like a Morris chair kind of thing. So it looks like quarter sawn oak. Actually, it must have a nice grain on it. So it kind of looks like a deacon bench to me, or a altar bench. You sit in here, the seat will lift up, and you take the mud on out, and you got to keep the Bibles in over here. I kind of like this dark oak color, but to be honest, this looks like it's made about the 1940s or 1960s maybe. I think a nice, cool, crisp looking quarter sawn oak color, light natural color, may look pretty cool too. So I'm going to strip the finish off all this and rebuild it as a bench. Let's take a look at our bench now. It does have a couple issues that we have to take care of before we start repairing it. Okay, the first issue this has is this back. You can see the whole back has come apart. So I'm going to glue this all up together first. The second issue is the seat. This goes in last, but still it delaminated. And it would have been better if this cross piece could have been a little longer, maybe further to the back into the front to go across some of these seams over here. It always takes the brunt of the force being opened and closed and sat on. So we're going to reglue and clamp that together. Once these two are clamped, clamp it all up together. So this is the lid after I took the clamps off. It's all together now, but you can see it has this awful water stain that's on here. And how to get rid of water stain? Use an oxalic acid mixed with hot water. You get this and you mix around 2 tablespoons to about every gallon of hot water. Okay, so the acid's on here. We're going to set this aside to dry for a few hours, and then I'm going to come back and neutralize it with vinegar, and then we'll take a look and see how the stain looks. Okay. Okay, I have the bench all laid out. While it was dismantled, I gave the whole thing a quick 220 sandpaper, make it a little bit easier for later on. But now I'm going to glue the whole frame together. The 2 sides, the back, seat and front panels, and the back. So I want to start to put the wood in all the mortise and tenon joints. And then it's going to be something I assemble all at one time. Ooh. Yes, just a little bit more like it. Nice, warm, deep, quarter sawn cut oak. Okay, now this is the lid that had the big stain on it that we put the oxalic acid on it. Looks like it's lightened up quite a bit, so I'm going to neutralize it with vinegar. This is just white vinegar. The one thing I notice about this bench is that average seat heights are 18, 19 inches, and the seat, once the cover's on it, right here, it's at 17. So I'd like to bring it up at least an inch, inch and a half, so it's a little bit taller. I want to add it to the bottom of the leg here, and I'm trying to get an idea of how I want this leg to look. So I'm looking for another feature on this. Either I keep it square, or on the back over here, there's all these angles with the straights on top of it. So I'm thinking, why don't we just do that? Why don't I have a little overhang, and then it comes straight down, and then a little taper out. It's a little simpler, and it's a little lighter looking, and it'll make it taller. So I found a piece of banister molding that my dad made about 65 years ago, and anyway, it has a nice weathered look, has these two beads here, so I like to incorporate the shape of the leg into it. So have a nice little quarter bead on the top, straight down the slant out profile that I was talking to you about. I'm going to cut this up and use it for the legs. Okay, I have the new feet attached to the leg, and I like the way it turned out. Has a nice descending shape that meets the leg and continues the style. Here's another shot of the back. After looking at it, I decided to put a third support underneath the lid. Okay, it's time to start the shellac finish, amber shellac. This is what we're going to use. I'm going to put 1 part amber shellac to about 3 parts of alcohol. For the first coat, it's going to be a thin coat. Here's my touch-up tray on wheels. Everything I need here for touching up. My pigments for colors, my sprays of all kinds. Here's our bench that we found. So you can see right now we have a little variation of color. The back is noticeably lighter than the arms, and so is the front rail, and so is the lid. I'm using the extra dark walnut aerosol spray this time, just to bring things together and darken it, and a little shadowing around the edges. It should be darker on the edges and less color in the middle from people sitting down on it, wearing off color, and that's what we're going to do with the seat as well. But let's do the back and show you where I'm going to be spraying it. Spray overall. Now I'm going to start on the paper and pull it in and dissipate it. Let's pull off the paper and see what our patient looks like. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to give this now a complete coat of white shellac, and it's going to start to build up a little quicker now. And so let's bring it over to the spray booth. Let's get the white shellac in a gun and give it a shot. Well, this is our bench after 2 coats more of the white shellac. So it's got a good body on it. Color and everything looks good. Now this is the lid. I have my fine steel wool, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm wetting it with water. We used to use lemon oil, but you can use water. And it creates a little vehicle when you rub it. And it just makes it look a little bit more mellow that way. So by rubbing it with water and steel wool, look at that nice, low, soft sheen. Now right there, that alone is a good sheen. If you want a nice low luster, that's good. Now that we have the bench all rubbed down with fine steel wool and water, we are going to wax and buff. Take our paste wax, let's put it all on and buff it up, and that's when everything is going to come together. We're going to get a nice glow going, so let's wax and buff. Look at that. This is what I'm talking about. It feels smooth to the touch. Everything's nice and soft. And it has a nice glow to it. Look at those yellows just coming to life from underneath. We're done. Let's take a look at what we found on the side of the road. Remember this guy? All broken apart and dark. Look at this wonderful color here. Here's the seat. Had the big water stain on it. Now it opens up. Look, there's 3 cleats there. It's nice and strong. Anyway, there's only one more thing left to do. Take it easy, kid.
Nobody knows my troubles and fears.